I know, I'm just kind of talking to myself right now. I'm like my best friend. I'm basically my own best friend. Hi, my name's Mara, and my year didn't begin on January 1st, but actually began on October 6th, 2019, and I want to talk about it. So by the time I upload this video, we will have approached October 6th, 2020, which makes 1 year between the two dates. And who cares? Honestly, why does that matter? Well, that happens to be the anniversary of the day that I officially left my job in the public sector as a city planner in order to embark upon the weird, floppy, wobbly world of being self-employed and trying to pursue life as a blogger. Holy hell, what a year it has been. So yeah, I have a whole video where I talk about why I left my government job, and that's really not the point of this one, but it's just kind of looking back and reflecting upon how this whole year has been. So since that date has happened, this is how my whole entire year has been, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate in your own crazy ways. I did the big, crazy, ballsy thing and saved up 6 months worth of income in order to live off it and figure out what my next steps were as an aspiring food blogger. So in the midst of me trying my hardest to pursue my own food blog, which is something that I love and it's my baby, a couple other things have happened in this year. November 24th, my husband and I got married. And it's been wonderful and it's been amazing. So imagine trying to plan a wedding while also trying to launch a business. That's really hard. So if any of you have been in that situation, hey, pound it to you. Later on, let's jump forward to a month later. I became a parent. I became a mother, and my husband became a father, which is a big deal. We became fur parents and adopted our precious little sweetheart at the end of December at a local animal shelter. And that was a gift from my husband, who is highly allergic to cats. So a void I had in my heart and soul for a cat for a very long time has finally been fulfilled, and that's been wonderful and amazing. Later on, 2020 happened, and while I was already preparing to not only embark upon a self-employment journey with my blog, but I also knew I needed to make some money and I needed to tap into some other passions. So I also got my certification to become an ESOL teacher, which I have loved. It has been an amazing blessing to once again reconnect with kids and awesome rad-ass adults from all over the world. But one of the big things is it has given me a financial cushion to continue to work and pursue my entrepreneurial dreams. So I'm partially self-employed, kind of part-time worker, all great, all dandy, all good. Then early in 2020, the apartment we had been living in for nearly 3 years, we got kicked out of. Long story short, our year lease turned into a month-to-month, and we had less than a month to leave. But you know, as crappy as that situation was, new beginnings, we wound up moving not just to a new apartment, but to a brand new city. So a new pace of life. So new city, new pace of life, new fresh air. Flash forward to last week, and my husband and I got into a big, nasty car accident. We got rear-ended on the interstate in Tampa, Florida, which has horrible traffic. And we were involved in a 4-car pileup. And the thing with me is that one of my biggest points of anxiety is being on the road and just being behind the wheel. So that happening really shook me to the core. So I'm still trying to recover from that. An illness came upon the world. A big illness. And it's been horrible for a lot of families and a lot of individuals all across the world. And I think that's just been one of the biggest disruptions for this year, has been this giant global crisis, a giant pandemic. And if you're trying to become self-employed and trying to enter into the world, and then this unpredictable illness happens, oh my God, that makes things really hard and really difficult. And then also, oh yeah, I want to mention that my grandmother has been in and out of the hospital. Someone that I'm close to, she's currently in the hospital, and that's something that's really been heavy on my heart. So there's been a lot of stuff going on in the whole year 2019 to 2020 to this point. And how do I feel about everything? I think one of the big things I realized was, even though I did create a business plan to really formalize the Funky Spork and turn that into an LLC, which it finally is, this whole road to being a self-employed entrepreneur amidst a pandemic, just getting married, becoming a new parent, going through a car crash, relocating to a new place, makes this path very difficult and very rocky. One of the big things is, in this time, if you are also an entrepreneur or have been through something, you, similar to me, may experience a lot of self-doubt and imposter syndrome. I can't tell you how many times I have just lied in my bed wondering what the hell I'm doing with my life and questioning my decision, whether or not I made the right decision to leave my government job, which at the end of the day I know was right for me. But with that being said, if you are maybe in your 30s like I am, you may also find that you have experienced, that I experienced, existential dread. I'm telling you, not only did I have these moments where I felt depressed and I would just lie in my bed, but I wondered, like, what is the meaning of everything? What's going on? So like having feelings of self-doubt, a lot of insecurity tied with your own feelings of existential crises where you're questioning where's your value and your identity as a worker and as an individual, can be a lot. It can be a lot. So especially if you have more than one job, as I said, not only am I an aspiring blogger and content creator, but I'm also an English teacher as well. So I carry these multiple hats, and I'm sure you do too. A lot of creative people, I realize, we tend to have more than one job title. And I think the big thing that can be kind of toxic is associating who you are and your identity in your job title or your job titles, especially if you find that that no longer gives you fulfillment or it gets taken away from you. So that's definitely a big thing that I've been coming to terms with. I think another thing has been within this journey has just been accepting and acknowledging that you can come up with a full-on business plan, but a lot of outside circumstances are going to get in the way, or they're very much going to impact how your journey goes. As I said, we got married, just got a new cat, had to relocate to a new place, and then global illness. All these things impact your journey. So I think the big thing that just kind of really sunk home to me was that you can make a plan, but things won't always go according to plan. And I think that there's this phrase that goes, you can make a plan and God's gonna laugh. And that sure as hell is true. So I think one of the good things that's happened is that it's just kind of taught me to be flexible. You know, you can create an agenda for the entire day, but something could happen and you have to either take it one or two ways. You can either complain about it and sulk that things didn't go your way, or you can just say, hey, you know, this wasn't my plan, but what can I do to continue to move on? Another thing that I started to do within this year was question my own food blog. My baby, the Funky Spork, something I was working on. I got kind of burnt out in the midst of it. I didn't see as much engagement as I had hoped for. And for a while, I had to just kind of pause that in order to figure out what I'm doing. And if you're in a similar boat, you may have done the same with your own ventures. You may find that you're in a place that you also have to pause and figure out and assess, hey, either are you doing the right thing? Do you have the right strategy? Or is it best for you just to cancel and stop your venture so you can really take a step back to assess and maybe see if something does or doesn't work. So I've had to do that. Luckily, I'm kind of coming back to my own food blog and still kind of reassessing what I want to do with that, but I'm figuring that out. But I think some good things that have happened, as I said, getting married to an amazing person and being a pet mother, those have been wonderful and just great. But as far as my own journey and my own self-discovery and just self-actualization is that amidst all the times where I may have been broke this year or have had times of self-doubt or depression, amidst all the craziness of these past 365 days, I feel like I've developed a better sense of myself in terms of owning my mental health. Beforehand, it was very easy for me to just give myself hours and hours and hours to a job and then feel completely burnt out to the point you have nothing left to give to anyone else or to pour to yourself. So now, if I do feel that I am approaching burnout, I am better able to recognize that and pause what I'm doing. If I feel like I'm overexerting myself, I can now pause and just step back or hold myself to a rein. And I think that's a pretty important realization, because when we live in a capitalistic society, I think one of the things that pisses me off, and I'm probably gonna do more videos that talk about this, is that, especially on LinkedIn, I'm gonna call the whole LinkedIn platform out, is that yes, there is merit in working hard. There's absolutely merit in being a hard worker and even finding a calling within a professional vocation. I get that and I respect that. But I think there's also this toxicity that we need to address, that there's this overall accepted idea that your value in life and your value of self-worth is tied to your vocation and how much money you make, how hard you work at your job, and what your career is. And when outside shit happens and that crumbles away, it becomes very toxic and very pervasive for us to continually tie ourselves with our work identity as our sole source of who we are. It's important, once again, to work, but at the same time, it's very toxic for us to just wrap ourselves in that, especially if you have other factors outside, such as family or health. I think one of the other things that I've reflected on within this journey from October 2019 to October 2020 is that I'm still alive. Things haven't always gone the way that I wanted to, and amidst my own self-questioning and self-doubt, I'm still alive. I still have my health. I am able to bring income and I'm able to pay my bills. And for those things, I am happy. I am finally at a place where I actually have time to create content that I love. And if I'm lucky, I have been able to even do some really awesome commissions where I am doing content creation. And that's really cool. So yeah, this year's been nuts and this year's been crazy. But I want to toast to some water. So we're gonna toast together. So I wanna ask you, how has your year been from October to last year to October of this year? Have there been any crazy changes that have happened either in your life or outside your own sphere that have impacted you? Is there anything that you want to discuss? How has this whole year impacted your mental health and overall well-being? I would love to know, so definitely go ahead and share your thoughts below. I'd love to start this community conversation on how our years are going. I'm here for you, and hey, let's just root each other on and stay hydrated. Well, I'm gonna go finish doing laundry and try to accomplish some of the things that I've been putting off this weekend because procrastination. But if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in topics pertaining to social commentary, mental health, and self-advocacy, go ahead and help me by subscribing to my channel. I love you all, and I hope to talk to you all soon. Take care until next time. Bye-bye.